Evaluation Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My magazine is named Music Reborn, and I've taken my inspiration from 3 other magazines using different conventions from them all. My magazine audience profile is predominantly males with 78% male readership and an age range of 15 to 34-year-olds. The magazine has an ABC1 of approximately 46% and will be released bi-weekly at a price of £2.60. Guitarist and Classic Rock and Q magazine are all magazines aimed at an older audience, therefore higher quality and more sophisticated, but they are also appropriate for my music genre. My cover inspiration came from Guitarist, however the photography was pastiche from an issue of Classic Rock. I arranged my cell line around my masthead, similarly done on Guitarist. I think it's a very inventive idea and makes the cover look interesting, professional and of a higher quality. Also, to make my masthead more original, I replaced the O in Reborn with a vinyl, connoting the classic rock genre in a quirky way. Another aspect of my magazine that looks professional and realistic are the varying size of text to emphasise certain words. But also it looks professional because I have abided by only using 2 fonts on my cover rather than several. The text, I believe, is very clear to read, but wrote in italic, connoting the classic rock genre as a serif font. I believe this is done well as a plug advertising the David Bowie competition that emphasises the word win and David Bowie, which are the eye-catching important words to entice the audience. This is done similarly well on an NME cover. The colours used on my magazine for my house style include black, white, grey, black and red. The colours contribute to the magazine genre, then the age range, because the black, grey and white are typical rock colours, but specifically classic rock because of the blue and the white and red colour scheme. This is stereotypically linked with older things, i.e. classic rock from earlier generations. The blue contributes to the audience profile of 78% male readership, but also the red and the white are additional colours that connote the British background of the magazine. The last convention of my cover I will compare is the barcode, in which I pastiche from Kerrang. Because of their barcode, they include all the required elements the reader needs, such as the price, date and website. I also choose to place the barcode in the same place as done on the majority of Kerrang issues, yet again increasing how realistic my magazine looks. For my contents page, I use the general layout and style of Q magazine and choose to complete a double-page contents page rather than a single page that is often used in Kerrang, simply because I believe it suits my subgenre better, linking to the sophistication of the magazine. The main image on my contents page is pastiche from Q's contents page image of Cheryl Cole, so I decided to do a similar image with my model, applying a male gaze, Laura Mulvey 1975, but also Carl Rogers 1980's ideal self and ideal partner. This is mainly implied from the casting of the model, and the mise-en-scène also contributes to the preferred reading of the image, Stuart Hall 1980. This image straight away catches the attention of the audience and must represent the subgenre clearly. I believe my image does this to some extent, but could have been done better with smaller aspects of mise-en-scène that would make it more realistic. The smaller image of the cover artist connotes the other side to classic rock and how he puts his heart and soul into his music and relies on his guitar. This is connoted through him resting his head on his guitar, and specifically it being an acoustic guitar in comparison to the duo image holding an electric guitar, relating back to the sex, drugs and rock and roll saying. All the artists on the contents page are all seen as ideal self and ideal partners. I wanted the layout to be very square to connote classic rock and also sophistication, but also the seriousness of the magazine, as the purpose of the magazine is to advise young artists on ways to make themselves better and improve their skills. I have chosen to include similar aspects of content to Q magazine, such as the Q review, which I have represented in a similar way through the Blondie vinyl. Using a vinyl in place of a CD yet again connotes the classic rock genre and the original source of classic rock in the 60s and 70s. Another professional aspect of my magazine, I believe, is the page numbers, which I pastiche from Q magazine as they look very similar but effective. They show all the required information such as the page numbers, name of the magazine, and the date, which is mirrored from the left page to the right page, increasing how professional my product looks. Moving on to my double page spread, I wanted to include an artist profile for my artist, as I list down down-to-earth questions showing how they are regular teenagers who have amazing talents with a guitar and a microphone. This convention isn't usually found in classic rock magazines, so it challenges the stereotype of classic rock magazines. This convention is usually found in younger magazines such as Kerrang. As they list artists that are similar to their age. They also have the same age range for their audience profile, making it more appropriate to use. I represented this within the blue box, as it is part of the house style, to present that this is the first magazine to complete an article on this artist, and how the magazine will make him a huge artist. It also connotes him being very classic rock, abided by the magazine's music genre of majority classic rock. The image I used is okay, but I like the idea of taking a picture in a recording studio while he is working on some of his music, connoting him writing his own music rather than other people doing it for him. I also included the drum symbol in the shot to connote how he is playing several different instruments, not just playing the mainstream guitar. I also created a red lighting shine on the symbol, as red represents passion for the artist, which is very important in this article. However, I believe my idea for my double page spread is very basic and could be made to look more impressive, as I see it as being too simple. I think I would need to make the conventions more obvious and stereotypical. To make a more realistic double page spread with a more vibrant idea, I think next time I could copy a double page spread from Q or NME rather than guitarists, as they are very simple and don't emphasise the conventions enough. To make the title more interesting, I placed white boxes behind the beginning letters of the word, abiding by the house style. This is supposed to remind the audience of a newspaper article referring to Connor being big news. In my lead paragraph, I have highlighted the vital words Smashing Rocker and 17. I chose to highlight Smashing Rocker especially because it is a form of onomatopoeia linking to the artist and his music, which I think is quite clever use of text. The font I've used is different to the font of my magazine masthead, as I wanted to create emphasis on the serif font connoting the classic rock music and the artist's chosen music genre. Finally, I'm going to comment on the change of text on my double page spread on the artist profile. I changed it to a sans serif font to make it bolder, but also as it relates back to the age range of the younger people and the Kerrang magazine inspiration. This font is more eye-catching, and paired with a smaller picture of Connor, it advertises him as being fun as well and an in-your-face artist. Finally, the single page spread. Behind the band name, Blonde Menacers, I placed a rough yellow shape to connote the edgy feel to the band and the music genre in which they specialise. In contrast to my double page spread, they are a punk rock band, so following a different house style to suit their music genre. I chose to use more red than blue on this page, as well as including some yellow, which is very stereotypical for punk bands. The name Blonde Menaces also refers to as the yellow, but I chose the red rather than the blue because it's a brighter in-your-face colour. I followed the layout of the magazine with the page numbers and the black borderline at the bottom of the page. This consistency makes my magazine look more professional and therefore more realistic. I love this image as it is like a mashup of mise-en-scène to get across the idea of the band and what they like efficiently to the audience. For example, the vinyl t-shirt, the school t-shirt and the bright colours such as purple, red and yellow connote the energy of the band. This page takes more inspiration from Kerrang as it is more obvious conventions for the audience profile such as the artist profile and the interview, which is done more frequently in Kerrang than guitarist. To make it more interesting and realistic, all while abiding by the house style, I have changed the font colour between red and white depending on whether it is a question or an answer. Overall, my magazine challenges magazine conventions which it comes to the music genre and age range, as my magazine can be seen as a niche audience as the stereotypes are challenged frequently. My magazine looks professional but occasionally lacks individual ideas that could amaze the reader rather than it being too simple.
What if I wanted to break? Laugh it all off and